Have you ever just stopped to think about the incredible power packed into the simplest words we use every day? Well, today, we're going to unpack the hidden universe inside one of the most common and maybe one of the most important words in the entire English language.
So let me ask you, what do you think is the most powerful word in English? You might think it's some super long, complicated word, something you'd see in a spelling bee. But what if it's something way simpler? I'd argue that the real power in language comes from the words we use constantly, without even realizing just how much heavy lifting they're doing.
And this brings us to a really fascinating idea called Basic English. It's basically a stripped-down version of the language built around a core list of just 850 words. The whole point is that with these essential building blocks, you can say almost anything you need to, often by using one simple word to do the job of a dozen more complex ones.
And sitting right at the heart of that powerful 850-word list is our star for today, the tiny two-letter word, go. It's an absolute titan of versatility, and we're about to dig into exactly what makes it so essential.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the nuts and bolts, then look at its most common meaning, physical movement. After that, we'll dive into the abstract, see how it talks about change, and finally explore the massive universe of expressions it helps create. So let's get going.
All right, let's start with the basics. Like a ton of the oldest and most used words in English, go is what you call an irregular verb. And that just means it kind of plays by its own rules. The key thing to notice here is how weird it is. The past tense isn't gooed, which you'd logically expect. Nope, it's went, a completely different word that got folded into the job centuries ago. So we've got go, goes, went, gone, and going. Now that we've got the forms down, let's see what this word can really do.
Okay, so let's start where we all start with this word, simple physical movement. This is the first definition. Pretty much everyone learns.
At its very core, go is all about moving from point A to point B. It's travel, it's direction, it's changing where you are in the world. It's basically the opposite of just staying put.
And here's a perfect everyday example. I go to the seashore. It's so clean, so direct. You instantly get a picture of someone traveling somewhere. No confusion.
Now here's a subtle but really important twist on that physical idea. It's not just about arriving somewhere. It's also about the simple act of leaving. This classic phrase just captures that idea perfectly. Coming and going. It's the rhythm of life, right? Arrival and departure. And go is exactly half of that fundamental equation of movement. Okay, now things are about to get really interesting. We're moving beyond the physical world to see how go lets us talk about movement through things we can't even see or touch.
Get this. We use go to travel through time. I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. We've taken a word for walking down the street and repurposed it for mental time travel, moving through our memories and through history.
You're not literally getting into a time machine here, right? You're just moving your mind, your point of reference, back along a timeline. That little word go is what makes that totally abstract journey feel completely concrete.
And of course, this amazing adaptability extends perfectly to our digital world. I mean, where do you go on a computer? You're not physically moving at all, but you're definitely navigating a whole new kind of space.
We say things like this without even thinking. Go to this website, go to that folder. We're using a word that's thousands of years old, a word for walking, to describe how we move through a landscape made of pure information. That's just an incredible testament to how flexible this word is.
So, we've seen go describe physical movement and abstract movement. But what happens when there's no travel involved at all? What about when it's about a complete and total transformation? Right here, go takes on a whole new job. It means to become. It's used to describe a change from one state to another, and often a change that feels, pretty permanent. This is such a powerful, short, and honestly heartbreaking sentence. The phrase went blind hits so much harder than became blind. It implies this one-way journey from sight to non-sight, a point of no return. That is a huge amount of meaning and emotion packed into that tiny word went. So if go can mean moving, leaving, time traveling, and becoming, what happens when you start pairing it up with other simple words? Well, you get a straight-up explosion of meaning. Just look at the sheer range here. We can go after a dream, or we can go bankrupt. You can go down in history, or just go out with a friend for coffee. You can go for broke,
Go off, go on. Each one of these phrases creates a completely new idea, a whole new mini-story, all sprouting from that same simple two-letter root.
So, after that whirlwind tour, let's bring it all back home. What's the big idea here? What does the incredible universe of the word go really teach us about language? Here it is, the key takeaway. Powerful communication isn't about using the biggest, fanciest words. It's about truly mastering the most versatile ones. And that's the whole philosophy behind basic English. A word like go is a linguistic Swiss army knife. Mastering these simple, powerful tools is the real secret to communicating clearly and effectively.
And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. Go is not alone, not by a long shot. The English language is full of these tiny, powerful workhorses. So the next time you use a simple word, just take a second, pause, and ask yourself, what other universes is this little word hiding?